Hello? Yeah. Okay, give me a couple of minutes. I'm coming. Let me turn everything off. I'm coming. Ciao. Bye-bye. All right. Time to go. I really need to automate this. Wait a second. I think I have the answer. Boy, that was a bit of an adventure, but it made me think I need to automate this place. There's so many lights, so many different scenarios. The space is used for multiple applications. Then I thought, wait a second. I have my Arduino UNO Q. I can make this all magic. So here, as usual, there is a pixelated object that I'm going to be discussing during this video. The whole idea is that we're going to be using the Arduino UNO Q with Home Assistant and a ZigBee interface so that we can talk to a number of different home automation devices. We're going to be showing some devices that I got from IKEA that you can easily buy, some devices you can build yourself, because as long as you can take an Arduino with Wi-Fi that talks to the Home Assistant application. Home Assistant is open source, so it's easy to hack. It does a lot of plugins of different kind. So we're going to try to make this place very easy to reconfigure and to manage, and also to turn off the lights. I just to press a button and I don't have to walk around in the darkness. So follow me while we go through the process of designing a box where to place all these devices and then how to set up Home Assistant. This video is going to be slightly more, let's say, tutorial-y. There's going to be a part where we show you how to set up the software on the UNO Q. We get the first lamps and switch going. It is not a finished project. We're going to set up the system, set up the board. We're going to set up this object in the office. And in future videos, you'll see other projects that will talk to our Home Assistant installation to make this place truly magic. So this... Hi. Good afternoon. So what we are building today is a home automation server for this studio. And we are looking for a shape. And I know you already did some selection here. With Paola, our designer, who we already seen in a previous project, we kicked things off with a classic brainstorming session based on a visual mood board she'd prepared. Our first challenge was deciding whether this device should be wall-mounted or sit on a shelf. We explored different shapes and layouts to find the right balance between aesthetics and functionality. To get a better sense of the scale and volume, Paola decides to move from sketches to physical models. But the very next day, Paola started having second thoughts. She felt like we were headed down the wrong path. Paola.
I'm not sure about this design.
So we decided to pivot. We moved away from the original design and started exploring a completely different direction. You know, we could put like a small screen here, like we did on the music project. And this could be looking for a form that felt more appropriate for the studio. Suddenly we had a cool idea. We realized the antenna could double as the factory chimney. It was a simple way to turn a technical part into a funny feature. With this particular, I will call it an antenna, but it's actually it's got a bunch of hardware inside. The Arduino UNO Q can speak the ZigBee protocol or the more recent Matter protocol, and there is a whole world of devices that you can talk to and you can control through this protocol. To prepare for that, I've actually been shopping a little bit, and let me show you. I have a few devices that I got. A lot of these are IKEA, because actually IKEA has a lot of devices for home automation that use the ZigBee or Matter protocol. So for example, here we have a plug that I can control through ZigBee, and actually this one provides me also with information about the amount of energy used by the device plugged into this, a sensor for the door to see if somebody is opening the door. Small device that can be used as remotes. You can glue this to the wall somewhere, and when you press one of these buttons, Home Assistant can receive the message, and you can associate that to some kind of a scenario. So when you press the button, there's going to be a series of commands that gets executed. So for example, I could press this and turn off every single light in the room. This is an air quality sensor that I can actually connect to the system as well. The nice thing is that Home Assistant also supports devices that are connected through Wi-Fi, so I can use all sorts of other Arduino devices to participate in this network, and also lamps. These IKEA lamps that can be controlled through this protocol. This particular one can change between cold and warm white light, and I also have some other more experimental devices like an LED strip controller. I want to rewrite the firmware using Arduino and connect it to Home Assistant using this thing called ESP Home. This one is a sensor. In Italian, it's very nice. It's called the crepuscular sensor. In English, it's just a sensor that detects when it's dark. So I think I have my work cut out. I'm going to be integrating a bunch of these devices. So let's move on to the next step in the project. So here we are. It's the moment to make the Home Assistant software run on our Arduino Q. One of the great advantages of Arduino UNO Q is the fact that it already comes with a software called Docker, which allows you to run software application inside a container, which is a system that started off as an enterprise software tool, but now it runs even on a small device like this. Luckily for us, one of the preferred ways to install Home Assistant is through Docker. So it's time to give our Arduino UNO Q a soul. Now, as you can imagine, this tutorial is quite dense and technical. Showing the full process here would have made the video far too long to include it in its entirety. Because of that, we decided to publish the complete installation guide, including all the code and hardware steps, in a dedicated in-depth post that you will find linked into the video description. For now, here's the plan. We're installing a Home Assistant on the board using Docker. We'll go through the SSH configuration, connect the antenna to retrieve its IDs, and then point the browser to the local address to finally see the interface ready to go. From there, it will map out the house, kitchen, studio, bathroom, and run the first scan to see how many devices it can discover automatically. So you can see on the screen, I have a big gigantic button. If I am lucky, when I press this gigantic button, this is gonna turn on. Boom! Magic! So now I can spread the room with devices. While I was busy prepping the system to add more devices, Paola has finally locked in the definitive look for our control center. Looking at it now, it feels like the perfect shape for the studio. While I take a break from the setup, I'm moving to the assembly phase. Paola has finished 3D printing the final case for our factory control center. It's finally time to put everything together. Okay, is it beautiful? No. Is it practical? Yes. I was just about to close the case, but I realized we needed a stronger connection for the screws. So I'm using a soldering iron with a special tip to install these brass inserts. The heat melts the plastic just enough to lock them in place, making the whole structure much more solid. The system is up, but not all of the devices seem to be in a cooperative mood. Okay, so now I'm going to try an experiment. The system is up. This is the new case for the Arduino UNO Q and the antenna, shaped like a little factory. We have one device connected. Boom, it's turning on and off through this ZigBee. Now the big challenge. follow my finger. See those lamps over there? They need to be configured in ZigBee mode because when they come, they're in Matter mode. But in order to be compatible with older devices that I have to bring everything back to ZigBee. So now we're going to try the official method, which is to turn on and off the lamp 12 times or 15 times. That's not very clear, but at least 12 times. And the lamp will switch back to ZigBee mode and be ready to be configured. Ready? Let's go. 1, 2,
3, 4.
16. Let's try them one by one. It might be better. Nope. Stop it for now. These stubborn devices won't cooperate, so I switched them out. New devices. And finally, I'm running 3 tests. Test 1, an IKEA wireless switch controlling a smart plug to turn on the Nessino lamp by Giancarlo Mattioli. We'll place it at the kitchen entrance and see if they finally connect. Test 2, a generic supermarket bulb. It's dimmable with tunable white. I want to see if I can control this value remotely here in the studio. Test 3, a cheap unbranded Chinese motion sensor. We'll use it to check if the bathroom is occupied and trigger a light. Let's see if we can integrate it. 3 tests, 3 different stories. Let's see what happens. So here we are. We set up Home Assistant on the board. I am configuring it. I prepared the spaces. So this space doesn't have a living room, doesn't have a bedroom. It only has a bathroom, a studio, the place where we are, and it has a kitchen and an office, which is the other part that you don't get to see in these videos. Now, I need to get Home Assistant to recognize my ZigBee interface. So it says, oh, I discovered a bunch of devices, so I'm gonna connect this one. I'm gonna connect ZigBee. I'm gonna say, recommended installation. While this thing updates the firmware, a couple of things. Here we have a ZigBee button. So this is an old IKEA devices. I'm gonna configure it so that it speaks to this. And then this is a power plug, but it's interesting because this can be controlled remotely, but it also measures how much power you consume. So we can actually measure how much the different devices. So we're gonna connect this to this lamp, and this is gonna go on the wall later. So this is installed in the firmware. So we keep going. Let me grab a screwdriver. We're gonna open this device, crack open. There is a button here that's got a couple of, it's like a chain symbol. This indicates that if you press this in a certain way, it will look for a controller, let's call it like that will talk to it. So our objective is to configure this as button 01, configure this as the lamp, and then I will show you the power of Home Assistant, because if you look at a regular button, the regular switch that's in your house has got wires, so it can only do one thing and it can never be moved from the wall, while this thing is running on a battery using a wireless protocol. So the moment I configure this to talk to my Home Assistant, I can create a virtual connection between this button and whatever I want. So I could use it to turn on and off this lamp, absolutely, but I could also use it, for example, with other devices. I could turn on and off my air conditioners, or I can connect all the lamps in the studio to this thing. It depends on the configuration, on the automation that I configure in my Home Assistant. So it's done setting up the Home Assistant ZBT2, which is our adapter. Now this is forming a ZigBee network. Once the network is ready, I will be able to connect this button and this lamp and make them talk to each other. Some devices are physical, like this button. Some devices may be virtual. So one of the things that you will see inside Home Assistant, that it actually detects the weather for your location, and at the moment is getting that data from the Norwegian Weather Service. All right, this is located in the studio. I don't actually need to configure it too much. I'm just gonna do finish. Now, Home Assistant is talking to this, and I'm gonna go into Studio, and you will see there is a plus button at the top. I will press this plus button and add device, ZigBee device. So now I'm gonna quickly press this button a few times until this LED starts to blink. Let me see. Oh, the LED starts to fade. read in a few seconds this antenna, it says starting interview. Right now the device only knows the MAC address of this device. In a few seconds this will say, hey, here it is. This is an IKEA Somrig shortcut button. So you can see it has 1 and 2 dots because it can be used in both ways. Now it says to me, the device is ready to use. I need to give it a meaningful name. So this could be kitchen button, because I'm going to put that next to the kitchen. So I'm going to go with, but it's actually in the studio. So it's done actually. So the button is connected. I am also going to tell this socket to become discoverable. So there is a small button and I will press that small button with like a pointy object, and this LED will start to fade briefly, and that will make the socket discoverable. Sorry, I will do that in a second. Okay, my socket is fading, so maybe in a few seconds my Home Assistant will pick it up. In the meantime, I can close this guy and I can put it back on the wall. The interesting thing about this is that it's magnetic, so I can put like a small metal plate against the wall and it will just fit right here, and I can press this button and make things happen. Let's see if the socket is ready to go. So now I'm gonna add this lamp. So I press this tiny button, the LED is gonna fade. So now I'm gonna say add device, ZigBee device. This is gonna search for a few seconds, already found it. It says, okay, I found an in-spelling smart plug. This lamp, by the way, is called Nessino. It's an historical Italian design lamp, so I'm gonna say Nessino. And the area is studio. And it says the device is ready to use. So if I try to turn it on, turn it off. Amazing. So I'm gonna add some kind of an automation to connect that button to this guy. So create automation, create a new automation, add trigger. Well, I'm gonna select kitchen button. This is gonna be the trigger that says, okay, if the button is pressed, there's no other condition. I'm gonna start with an action, device, select the device, select Nessino, and then what I need to do is to toggle Nessino. Save the automation, and then I'm gonna call this a Nessino test, and I'm gonna put as an area studio. So this is an automation that has to do with the studio. So if I go here and I go to the studio, I can see the Nessino. There is also an automation. So I can go back and I'm gonna try to see if this works. So if I press this button, let me check. I press the button and it's on. I press the button, it's off. Okay. Oof. So this is amazing. So if I go back to the studio, I can actually control it through the interface. And the nice thing is that if I install the Home Assistant app on my phone, I can actually control everything that I'm controlling through the web through my phone. So just as a test to see if I can connect whatever to this thing, I actually got this light bulb. It's just randomly purchased at the local supermarket. So it is the least sophisticated device that I can imagine. But it says here, Wi-Fi and Bluetooth and Matter. So this means that maybe once it's on the Wi-Fi network, I will be able to control it. Let's see what happens. So I checked it out. In order to use this random lamp from the supermarket, I need to get it on the Wi-Fi. In order to get it on the Wi-Fi, I need to install the app that came from this company. And also, I need a lamp where to put this light bulb. So I'm just gonna go get one, put it on the table, and then we move forward with the installation. So you can see the light is on, and this is needed because I need to get this lamp onto the Wi-Fi. So using the app, I'm gonna find the lamp. Wow, the app already says device found. And I'm gonna add the password for the Wi-Fi. Looks okay. So we're gonna try to find this lamp. Device, we're gonna search for the integration. We're gonna look for Wiz. and it is actually present in the device. And then we will try to discover this device on the network. It found a lamp. It's actually, the IP address is here. I'm gonna press the button. I'm gonna say with the lamp, and then I'm gonna put it in the studio because this is gonna be inside this thing. So let's see if I can turn it off. It turned off. I can turn it on. This is quite amazing. So I'm gonna show you something. If I go into automations and I pick up the old automation that I made where I was turning on and off this lamp with this button, I'm gonna add this lamp to the same automation so that we can control both of them. Add action, device, select the device. I'm gonna look for the whiz lamp and I'm gonna say toggle whiz lamp, save, go back to the home. Now I'm gonna try to turn on and off that button. If we are lucky, both of these guys are gonna turn on. They are both on, yes, boom, this is perfect. So we're gonna press this button and both of them are gonna go off. So now that my lamp is on the network, I can actually go into this, my phone, and I can actually remove the Wiz app. I don't need it anymore. And I also don't need this box anymore. Perfect. So this is just to show you how easy it is to attach to this Home Assistant a bunch of devices that have got nothing to do with each other. Because this lamp is connected to ZigBee through a controllable power socket, and this lamp is connected to the Wi-Fi network, and it's controlled through Wi-Fi. And I can even change the brightness of this lamp. And I can even change the color of this light. So this is gonna be very cold. This is gonna be very warm. Well, it's quite impressive what you can do with a little bit of open source software and an Arduino UNO Q. We're gonna enter a slightly more experimental phase because I have two devices that I got from, so they are generic ZigBee devices. This one is a 220 volt switch, so this can be placed inside the device and can be turned on and off this device remotely. I'm gonna use this as an experiment, but I want to make something extremely clear. I do not recommend that you connect permanently to the 220 or 110 volts any random device you get from. It is not recommended. There has been many cases of things that have caught fire because not all of these things are actually built to norm. So I'm gonna use this just to demonstrate that we can do it. Buy something either in the US or Europe that's got a brand attached to it, that's got all the certification attached to it so that we are safe. This device is battery operated, so technically not dangerous. It is a presence sensor, so this is supposed to detect the presence of human beings. So we're gonna try to connect it to Home Assistant and see what happens. So I'm gonna unbox this tiny little device. You can see that on the front, it says there's like a symbol of a person with some radio waves going to it. And on the back, there is a sign that says that we can lock and unlock this thing. So I'm gonna unlock this. And you can see there's a plastic strap that I can remove. This is going to connect the battery. So this one should be on. One thing is that there's a small hole on the side. I think this is gonna be the reset button that makes this device connect to the network. So I'm gonna press it. An LED has blinked on the front. Okay, the LED is blinking fast and boom, it says starting interview, configuring. This is called TS0 something. We're gonna call it presence. And at the moment is in the studio. Okay, so if I look at the screen, it says presence detected. It's actually going to wait for a while before it deactivates. So I'm gonna bring this to the kitchen and try to see if I can install it in a place that it's not gonna detect people. So I'll be right back. Okay, finally the sensor is in the bathroom, so I can try something. I am going to connect this presence sensor with this lamp through another automation. So whenever this thing triggers, the lamp is gonna turn on. Otherwise, it's gonna turn off. So let's see. And then I'm gonna send someone into the bathroom and see if it detects people coming in. So if I go again into automation, I'm gonna create a new automation. So the trigger is gonna be this thing called presence. Presence. And then you say, when it started detecting motion, take Nessino and turn it on. I'm gonna call it presence bathroom. I'm not sure it's gonna work, but let's try. So now we're gonna try this experiment. I made this automation. Please go to the bathroom. I've sent someone in the bathroom, but sorry, we forgot to film it. So here's Jennifer Aniston instead. Boom! It's working! Okay, so we can use this to create one of those airplane signs where if you are in the bathroom, the sign is red, and if you're not in the bathroom, the sign is green. Sounds amazing. Tested, finalized, and ready for action. The control center finds its permanent home on the wall, set for the next chapter. Ta-da! So, the small factory is on the wall. The design of the object is not final yet. We've decided not to put like a big screen here, but to put a small screen here just as a status display. And also there's a few things we have to fix inside to make it more beautiful, but isn't it amazing? Well, here we are. It was a bit of an adventure at some point. Some of the parts didn't want to really talk to each other, but in the end, we made it. And we built the infrastructure for me to automate this whole space. The controller is on the wall. And now I have a system where, thanks to the Arduino UNO Q, I have a button or another sensor that I can place anywhere. This is talking to the Arduino Q, and that one is controlling the lamp so that I can press and turn off. Magic. Oh, sorry, wait a second. Pronto? Yeah, no, I'm coming. I'm almost done, I say. The car... No, I have no idea what happened to the car. I didn't see it. Come and see me, baby!